What's going on, everyone? It's DK with RPM Gaming, where we talk about retro PC and mobile gaming. And here lately, this is the controller that I've been using. It's the GameSir Super Nova, and this is a really great controller for the price. So sit back, relax, and let's knock this review out.
When I ordered this controller, I picked up one of the faceplates to go with it, and GameSir actually sent me 2 of them, which was awesome on their part. Out of the box, you've got your controller, your USB-A to USB-C charging cable, along with the charging dock, the USB dongle, and of course the user manual packet. The Super Nova has quickly become one of my favorite controllers to use for at-home gaming. It has a really comfortable feel in the hands, and it's also got that nice rubber texture that I like. It's grippy, but also smooth at the same time. The only downside is that texture can be a little bit smudgy sometimes. The sticks are GameSir's trademark Hall effect sensing sticks that are anti-drift and ultra durable. They have a good amount of tension on them and a nice smooth travel with that anti-friction ring on the faceplate. The D-pad has a rubber membrane connection with an overall smooth texture and no sharp edges, so your thumb easily glides across the surface. Up top we've got our select button, our start button with a GameSir symbol in the middle, our screenshot button, and our home button, which turns on the controller. While we don't have RGB lighting around the thumbsticks, we do have it around the edges of the faceplate, which I think is a nice touch for a change. And to force the controller off, you just hold down the home button for a few seconds. Then at the bottom of the controller we have our M button, which is what you'll use to turn on the turbo function, program your L4 and R4 buttons, and use for a whole list of quick commands also. The face buttons on this controller are a rubber membrane connection as well, and they have a smooth, kind of a matte finish to them, and kind of a rounded top, which makes it really comfortable to slide your fingers across them. We don't have anything on the underneath of the controller, and up top we've got our USB-C charging port, along with our shoulder and trigger buttons. Let's take a closer look at those. The left and right shoulder buttons are smooth, comfortable, and fairly quiet when you press them down. The triggers have a nice travel distance, along with a good amount of tension and a flared edge that make it comfortable for you to rest your fingers on. The Super Nova comes equipped with those hair trigger locks as well. I always mention the amount of resistance or tension on the sticks and triggers because to me, if there's hardly any there, that makes the controller seem less premium and feel kind of cheap. The mappable buttons on the back of the Super Nova have a micro switch connection along with a smooth curvature to them. And lastly on back we have our connection toggle, starting on the left with Bluetooth, and then in the center for a wired connection, and then on the right for the USB dongle. The faceplates on the Nova are magnetic, and each faceplate comes with a different color set of the friction rings that are interchangeable between the plates. Once you have the faceplate off, you can just pop the face buttons out, and you can rearrange them in that Nintendo layout, or just in any fashion that you'd like, really. You can also pop off the thumbsticks, and the Nova didn't come with any extra thumbsticks, but you could probably pick some up on Etsy or somewhere like that. And here's a look at the faceplates that I got with the controller. You have this Hunter Green one, which is probably my least favorite of the 3. Next up we have the white faceplate, which I think is kind of reminiscent of the Hori Steam controller. And lastly we have this Midnight Metallic Blue one, which is my personal favorite. And here's the dock for the Super Nova controller. It's relatively small, so it's not going to take up a lot of space. Kind of a simple design. You just set the controller on top there. And then around back we have a USB-A port for the dongle, and then a USB-C port for charging. And when the controller's in place on the dock, you can see the RGB lighting flowing from the dock up through the controller, which looks pretty cool. Now here are the 3 controllers that I use the most for PC gaming. We have the Mamba 1 in the upper left, and on the bottom we have the 8-bit Do, and then of course the GameSir Super Nova. And these 2 here are probably my personal favorite. The Mamba 1 is a great controller, but these other 2 have more tension or resistance on the sticks and triggers like we talked about earlier, which I'm a fan of. As far as the weight of the controllers, the 8-bit Do is coming in the lightest at just over 8.5 ounces. The Mamba 1 is going to be the heaviest at 10.5 ounces, and then coming in right in between is the GameSir Super Nova at 9.2 ounces. Over on GameSir's app, you can take care of all the usual stuff, such as setting the colors for your RGB lighting, adjusting the speed, as well as the breathing pattern, doing button testing on the controller, setting the dead zone for your triggers and sticks, and making sure your controller stays up to date with the latest firmware from GameSir. Now let's jump into a little gaming. We'll start by checking out that D-pad in Contra running in RetroArch on iOS. And this is a test made famous by Russ over at Retro Gamecore. What we're doing here is checking to see if we get false diagonals. So when holding down on the D-pad and rocking back and forth, you can see that the character is moving quite a bit, which is not what you're wanting it to do. You're wanting it to just barely move, but this is moving quite a bit. And so while it initially fails the Contra test, let's see how it does actually gaming. Here we go, running and gunning. And the diagonals are coming fairly easy. No problems so far. When we get a little further, we'll check out and see exactly how precise it is. So here on this platform part, you can see everything, to me, feels like it's moving pretty good. The controls seem precise and accurate. Don't mind if I get killed right here. That's just a personal error, not the error on the controller. So I think this D-pad will be okay for things like this. Moving on to a little Street Fighter 2 Alpha, this D-pad feels really good on this game. As I mentioned before, it has a nice smooth texture to it, so your thumb just glides across it, and hitting those special moves is not a problem at all on here. And here we go. I think Mr. Ken Masters is about to bring home another victory. Sure enough. Jumping on over to the Steam Deck and connecting with Bluetooth, you can see it shows up as Pro Controller. So let's test out this Bluetooth functionality and see if it'll help Prince Zagreus escape or get sent back down below. And so far the controls feel good. I don't see any lag, they seem accurate and precise. And this has a 1000 Hz polling rate. I think I'm saying that right. And I forgot to mention earlier, the GameSir Super Nova has a 1000 mAh battery, which will give you somewhere between 6 and 12 hours of playtime, depending on how you use it, like with RGB lighting and rumble and all of that. Staying on the Steam Deck, we've got the USB dongle now plugged in. Going to test out a little bit of gyro with it. I don't really use gyro a whole lot, but from what I can tell, it seems pretty accurate on here. I did test it using Bluetooth on the controller as well, and it worked the same there. Let's jump over to the desktop PC with a little bigger screen and test it further on there. And here we are running Returnal, and I'm using the USB dongle. And you can see here that the gyro seems to be pretty accurate on this controller. We'll jump on into the action and do a little run and gunning with that gyro. And like I said before, I don't use gyro a whole lot, but from what I can tell, it's pretty good on here. It seems to be pretty accurate. And when connecting with Bluetooth on iOS, it's going to show up as a DualShock 4 controller. And unfortunately, when running on iOS, either over the USB dongle or Bluetooth, I just could not get the gyro to work. You can see here in both cases, when you activate the gyro, the screen just starts to spin and point down. And maybe this is an issue using Steam Link or something, I'm not really sure, but I was never able to get it to work. Even tried calibrating it several times, but still had no luck with it. But like we seen earlier, the gyro worked fine on PC and on Steam Deck. So as long as you're not buying it just to use gyro on iOS, I think it'll be fine. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for today's video on the GameSir Super Nova. Hope you guys liked it, enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like always, I'll leave a link. So don't forget to check out our other videos. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on RPM Gaming.